Today we have the amazing backstory about a steakhouse. Joining us now is the author of 5-Star Life, Britney Ruby Miller, the CEO of Jeff Ruby Culinary Entertainment. Thanks so much for being with us. And you come from a family that has a brand name. What was that like growing up?
Yeah, so I'm second generation. My father founded the company. He is chairman. I run the day-to-day and have an incredible team behind me. But we have 7 steakhouses scattered throughout the Midwest, USDA prime steakhouses. We are not a corporate chain steakhouse. We're a family-owned restaurant group who has very skilled chefs and great restaurants that have been nationally ranked. And so we really focus on emotional connections and taking care of our guests, taking care of our communities and our employees. And I'm blessed that I get to continue on and hopefully not screw up what my dad created.
You won't mess up anything. You're doing just fine. What are some of the important challenges that you faced in your life and you talk about in your new book?
Yeah, I wrote 5-Star Life. I grew up in 5-star restaurants, and I was taught from a very young age that I should always strive in these restaurants for excellence, and we should strive for 5 stars. And so, I had a pretty crazy childhood. My father is extremely colorful. He's a huge personality with the heart of the size of Texas, but absolutely loves people. He was in a coma for a month, almost pronounced brain dead, a 5% chance of living. And that's when I was 5 years old, which was absolutely traumatic. He miraculously recovered. This book is a faith-based book that really details some very traumatic things that happened growing up, what it was also like growing up with my father as the restaurant operator that he is and building the brand that he has built. And then, how I got into the business and then my journey through school and then getting married. And I think that I have an amazing opportunity to share how messy my life was and how glad that I am that my personal life, I strive for 5 stars and I believe everybody should. I think God has purpose and destined us for the absolute best, but we've got to put in the work. And so I put in a lot of work, a lot of therapy, a very, very terrible marriage for the first 5 years. I went through years and years of infertility, which can be very scary and put you into a very, very dark place. And so I talk a lot about what that process was like for me. And then the end is how I can go through life still with joy and peace and be happy, and how amazing my marriage is and how glad I am that I fought. And we've got, 4 children, and I'm sure glad that I did. We have an amazing family, and now we have an amazing business. We're still, clawing our way through the pandemic and COVID with my industry, which is, a lot of work that we've done to get us to where we are now. But I wrote the book because I think we live in a very chaotic, negative time, world right now. And so the more hope and joy, and I think that comes through sharing raw, authentic stories. And so I'm happy to put myself out there in hopes that it helps others.
You are already helping people who are watching this right now. What can you leave us with today?
I hope to connect with as many people as I can. I can only serve so many people in my restaurants. The book is an opportunity, and I try to get out there and speak and use my platform as much as possible and show people that life is not perfect and it's okay. And I'm in an industry that is, I've been to 24 funerals for suicide and overdose growing up as a child. This is what I saw in my industry. And I know through my story, and I've had multiple people say that it saved their lives. I've talked to these people, and the reason why I think it's important, not everybody should write a book, all right? I'm just in a position where I feel absolutely free, and so I'm going to use my story to try to bring that hope to people.
Well, thank you so much. The book is 5-Star Life. Thanks again for sharing your story of faith and hope.
Thank you.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.